everyone, welcome back to my channel Study Time with Vasu. So what are we going to learn today? We are going to learn the divisibility rules from 1 to 10. So let's dive into the first number, which is divisibility by 1. The rule is every single number is divisible by 1. It is the easiest divisibility rule. Now, divisibility rule by 2. This is also easy. If the number end with an even number like 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, it is divisible by 2. For example, 248 is divisible by 2 and 120 is also divisible by 2 because it is ending with 0 and here it is ending with 8. But if there is a number like for example 119, it ends with not an even number, so it wouldn't be divisible by 2. Did you understand the divisibility rule by 2? Now let's move on to the next number, divisibility by 3. This is also quite easy. The rule is if the sum of the digits of the number is divisible by 3, then the entire number is divisible by 3. You might have not understood that, but I am going to explain you with an example. The example is 642. When you sum up the digits 6 plus 4 plus 2, it equals to 12. And 12 is divisible by 3. Of course it is. So, the number 642 is divisible by 3. Hope you understood that easily. Now, let's move on to the next number, divisibility rule by 4. If the last two digits of the number are divisible by 4, then the entire number is divisible by 4. Isn't that easy? So, here in this example, 1312, 1312. Here the last two digits are 12 and it is divisible by 4. Because when we divide 12 by 4, we get 3. So, 12 or 1312 is divisible by 4. Now we are going to learn the divisibility rule of 5. The rule is if the last digit of the number is 0 or 5, then the entire number is divisible by 5. For example, 560. 560 is divisible by 5 because 0 is the last digit of the number. And then 345, 5 is the last digit of the number. You can see 645 when divided by 5 equals to 67. So 345 and 560 are divisible by 5. Divisibility by 6. The rule is if the number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then the entire number is divisible by 6. For example, 42 is divisible by 2 because it has an even number at the end, which is 2. And it's divisible by 3 because when you add up the numbers, you get 6, which is divisible by 3. So the number 42 is divisible by 6. Now, we learn the divisibility rule by 7. The rule is step number 1. You have to double the last digit of the number, then subtract it from the rest of the number, and if the result is divisible by 7, then the original number is divisible by 7. Let's learn it with an example. 203. We are doubling the last digit, which is equal to 6, and then subtracting it from the rest of the number. So Here the rest of the number is 20. When we subtract it from 20, we get 14. And 14 is divisible by 7. 14 divisible by 7 is correct. So 203 is also divisible by 7. Now we are going to learn divisibility by 8. The rule is, if the last 3 digits of the number are divisible by 8, then the original number is divisible by 8. For example, 3648. Here we have to see 648. 648 when divided by 8 is equal to 81. You can do a rough calculation. So the number 3648 is divisible by 8. Now we are going to learn the divisibility rule of 9. The rule is, if the sum of the digits of the number is divisible by 9, then the original number is divisible by 9. This was close to the number 3. Do you remember that? Now we will see the example. 3411. When we add up all of these, we get 9. And 9 when divided by 9 is equal to 1. So 3411 is divisible by 9. Divisibility by 10. The rule is, if the last number of the number is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. It is about any number. Any number is last digit is 0, then the entire number is divided by 10. For example, 160. 160 has 0 at the end. That's why it is divisible by 10. It is super simple. Hope you understood my video on divisibility rules from 1 to 10. There were some cool tricks which you should remember all the time when it comes in exams. And do not forget to like and subscribe my videos and share it with your friends. Bye guys, see you in the next video with a new topic.